Hello, Nana.
Hello, darling.
So this is going to be our first interview, and we're going to be looking at the flourishing scale. So I'm going to ask you 8 questions, and if you can think about each question in turn and give me an answer to what you think. The scale is that you strongly disagree with the question or strongly agree. But we won't look at numbers, we're just going to look at your answers. So question number 1 on the flourishing scale is, I lead a purposeful and meaningful life.
Oh, yes, I think so, yes. Yes. Positively, yes.
Tell me about that. What do you mean when you say yes?
Because I can't think the other way. I have to think positively to have a good outlook. If I start going the other way, there's no meaning to life, is there? You've got to think whatever you're going to do, you're capable of doing.
And so what does a meaningful life mean to you?
Meaningful life for me really means how I feel about myself, which is important. Meaningful life is different every day. You wake up in the morning and you have something to look forward to, and you have a wonderful, meaningful life. And then there are other days when it's not so good, but you still have to think positive.
So you think the importance of how you think changes how you react to the world?
Oh yes, it does. Yes, it does. But you have to find the best. Every day you have to find the best, because otherwise you would be on a down.
So at the moment you're currently in quite a lot of pain, or not quite a lot of pain.
I mean, yes, but
So how do you find the best when you're in pain?
just knowing that it will get better. One day's good, another day's bad, so you look forward to the good days. And there's nothing you can do with pain. You just have to get into your head that, bear it for that one day, and the next day is going to be okay.
Okay, that's lovely. And question number 2. My social relationships are supportive and rewarding.
Oh yes, they are.
They are.
Yes,
that was a definite oh yes, no time to think there.
Yes, because that's so important to life, to have support and to appreciate it.
So tell me a little bit about your relationships.
What are my relationships? Well, just being able to... I think the most important thing in a relationship is that both parties communicate to each other. I think that's important, that you can have your say and they can have their say, and then at the end of the day you feel worthwhile. Otherwise, if you're only listening to somebody else all the time, you don't get so much out of life. I think listening to each other is what I do. When I have some company come, I love to tell them a few things about me, maybe have a little moan now and again, because that does me good, and then listen to what they've been doing. So I say, somebody's been doing exciting things and other people have just been doing mundane things, but they're also happy. It's about life. That is life. Communication.
Yeah.
And that's so.
And so in your relationships, you were married for a long time.
49 years and 9 months.
Oh. And so what would you say was good about your relationship with my granddad?
Oh, always be aware of what they're saying and listen to them. Communication. If you talk to each other, no matter what problem you've got, you can go through it.
And did you have a lot of laughter?
All laughter. All laughter, yeah. Had a fantastic marriage, fantastic husband. But we always thought of the other person. He thought of what I wanted to do, and I thought, and that is the way it is.
And what about around finances and things like that?
Well, we just didn't.
Because you used to tell me about the glass bowl.
Oh,
if you didn't have any money.
We didn't have his and hers. Everything was together. When he started, came out the forces and had no money at all. He was working, and the money just went in a bowl. We just took it. We made sure that we didn't take. He wanted his cigarettes, and I needed things. So it's just a matter of. So we never had problems with money, because it was always shared. Always shared.
And problems?
Problems?
Were they shared?
Of course, that's the only way to cope with a problem. The problem will only be solved if you communicate with each other. Find out what is the problem. All problems you can solve, but you can only solve them through communication.
And so if we were going to give you a number for your social relationships, would that be a 6?
Oh, it'd be a 6.
That would be right at the top
Right
of the
at the
scale.
top, yes. Right
And
at the top.
is that throughout your life?
Yes, it's very important. Communication with other people is very, very important.
Okay. And question number 3. I am engaged and interested in my daily activities. So let's first of all say how old you are. When were you born?
27/11, 1927.
Okay.
That makes me 93. I'll be 94 in November.
Okay. You're getting on a bit there, Nan. And so would you say that you are still engaged and interested in your daily activities?
Oh, yes. Because I love to hear people's stories, for a start. And I love to be able to tell a few myself. And yes, everything in life is worth listening to. There's some excitement in something. I sit with a neighbour and she's going to do something wonderfully new. And it's exciting to listen to what she's going to do. She's 88 and she's going to do something new in her life. And that's what keeps you going, if you can do something.
And so you've been really adept at using the television and YouTube.
Oh, yes.
And what have you been learning on YouTube?
Oh, so much. Too much.
Okay, tell me some of the things.
Well, just about other people's stories, life stories, which are fantastic. Listening to doctors of what they've done. Anybody's life story is everybody's life story is interesting.
And what about physical activities? Because I know that you've been learning. Tai Chi.
Tai Chi. I do a little bit of Tai Chi, yoga, and I do chair yoga now because I have this pain that I can't do something. So I'm doing chair yoga with music. So you have the coordination of the dancing with your arms and your legs, and I said, and what to eat. What not to eat, all the things that you...
Oh, and what about facial massages? Were you looking at that at one stage?
Well, it's a bit beyond me now. I mean, but I'd rather have a natural face, I must confess. I'm too old now to think about, my double chins and my wrinkles. They're part of me. And I don't want to get rid of them now.
And what about you? You've been around the world on YouTube as well. You've visited some of the places that you used to live in.
Yes, because I was in South Africa for a long time and I just adored it there on the game reserves and things. So I can go and relive those memories by going to YouTube. I go to Seychelles on YouTube, where I've been, all around where I've been, where I've been lucky enough to go. I can relive them now, and memories are so important.
And where do you get the impetus and the energy to kind of research these things?
Just wanting to learn, just wanting to know everything.
So are you ever too old to learn anything new?
Never. You still I still make mistakes. I still say the wrong thing. I still get into trouble. That does not go away. And you think you'll never do it again, but you do. You make mistakes all your life.
So has social media like Facebook and the YouTube...
Oh, it's been wonderful for me.
Because obviously we've had lockdown.
Yes, it's been wonderful for me because I can take myself out of whatever I want to do that day. It may be just going travelling around the country of England. You can do it all on YouTube. Everything you can do on YouTube. And you can be there and then listening to other people's fantastic lives.
And obviously you live on your own and we have had lockdown. So how have you found that in your daily activities?
Not difficult, not too difficult, because I live in a little village and I do my own things. So I was able to go for a walk, countryside-wise, and I didn't find it too hard. I was dancing, so I missed my dancing very much. But that was due to come to an end anyway. So, I found it all right. I had the family around me and constant telephone calls and Zoom.
Oh, Zoom. Tell me about Zoom.
Well, my daughter is a yoga therapist and she does fantastic yoga Zoom. And My granddaughter.
Me?
She's given me the help. This is all the help I've had from my family, you see. So I was able to do Zoom these people and watch what they're doing.
And you had to learn that all on your own because you were living on your own. So
yes, you learn because it comes up and tells you what to do. The computer tells you what to do.
But you weren't afraid of trying it.
Oh no! Try anything. Yes.
Try anything.
I mean, I tried. I never thought I would do Tai Chi, but I really enjoyed it because watching them on the YouTube doing it, you just stand there and you think, shall I try that? And you have a go and you find, oh, it's not as easy as it looks, you know. And so you'll have a couple of weeks when you're doing that, and then you'll have a couple of weeks when you're doing something else. And only yesterday, I was actually dancing around the lounge here.
Okay.
I was doing a beautiful waltz because I had no pain, and I was wondering how I could step it out, and I felt like a teenager.
Oh.
Nobody was watching me, of course.
Not yet.
And I didn't have high heels on, I was in my bare feet.
Oh, okay. So we're on question 4 of 8. Number 4 is, I actively contribute to the happiness and well-being of others. Strongly agree, or would you disagree to that?
That one's a hard one because you don't know how much you contribute. That's the problem. You think you're contributing something, you're trying to help somebody, and it isn't successful, so you feel a bit of a failure. But I do try. What was the question again?
So the question... You haven't got memory problems.
No, but it's just...
I'll read it again. I'm only joking. So number 4, I actively contribute to the happiness and well-being of others.
Well, I do, but I don't know whether I'm successful or not.
Okay, so do people ring you?
Oh, yes.
For advice?
Oh, yes.
Like
yes,
who?
Yes. Like, well, not my daughter or my granddaughter. They both know it all.
I'm always ringing you, and my mother's.
But quite honestly, you know, yes, people do ask me questions, but just because I'm old, it doesn't mean I have the questions. Life has changed so much, and everything's changed about life, you know.
But I know I've sat here for hours telling you about my life, and you've sat and listened and given me very wise advice.
I adore listening to other people's lives. Everybody's got an interesting life if you sit and listen to them.
What about boring people that kind of drone on? Have they got interesting lives?
Oh, boring people are usually lonely and want to talk, so let them talk. And then if you're really bored, you can always interrupt with some little joke or something, you know.
But do you find that everybody, once you get to know them, has got a story, and they are actually not boring?
Everybody's got a story. I go down and sit by the river here, and somebody will sit or stand next to me, and they start telling me about something, and I'm mesmerised because everybody's got different stories to tell, and they're really interesting. That's true, you know.
And so nobody's life is nobody is boring because they've all got stories to tell.
No. And I always remember a nurse opening a drawer in the hospital of a patient, and the patient said, "I'm not what I am now, this old lady. I have been." And she put a little life story in there, and it was very touching because when you get old, you seem to vanish in the background because you've had your life. But if you delve into their lives, you'll find that they've done something interesting, something fascinating.
And people seem to gravitate to you. So why do you think they gravitate to you? When we go dancing, they seem to gravitate to tell you their...
Well, no, I don't think it's that. I just think I do a lot of smiling in the dance because I'm happy. And so when they're all going, when you see everybody dancing, half the people are concentrating on the dance, and then there's just a few people smiling, and it's lovely to see that, you know, relaxed and smiling.
So a smile is a doorway to a new friendship?
Well, if you walk down the street and you smile at somebody, they invariably smile back to you and say good morning, or, you know, I never pass anybody without a smile, because it costs nothing, and it's good for the muscles.
It's good for the muscles. It's very true. It's very true. Although I think we use more muscles when we frown.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll have to check the science on that. Number 5 is, I am competent and capable in the activities that are important to me.
We're talking now about
I suppose that's like I'm competent and capable in the activities that are important to me. So things, I guess, like...
My most important thing is being able to move around.
Okay.
It's very important to stay independent, and the only way you can do that is to keep your muscles going. And so when you think I can't stand up, you have to stand up and have to move if you can. Even through your pain, you have to try to keep quiet. Otherwise, once you stop doing something, you do it forever. And that's the pity of it. You know, I was dancing often 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah, and because of lockdown, that stopped.
So I've had to be conscious now that I'm not getting the same exercise, but I must do it because I want to make my own cup of tea. I want to take my own shower. These are most important things to me.
So about being independent.
Oh yes.
And so some days would it be easy not to do these things when you're in pain?
Some mornings I don't want to get out of bed. That's discipline. You have to get out of bed. You have to make the best of yourself. Get dressed. It's lovely to stay in your dressing gown all day, but it's not good for you because your brain is not the same. You've got to get dressed.
So do you always do your hair and makeup and shower?
I put a little bit of makeup on. I hate doing it because I've got so many wrinkles. There's no way to put the makeup. But I put a little bit of lipstick on and brush my hair. Because I'm going to try and go out. I try to go for the paper. I like to read the paper daily.
So that's something that's very that's
Very
about being capable in the activities. And would you rely on other people?
I dread the day that I have to. I would not be a good patient. I'm so independent. I can't help it.
So that's why you're very disciplined about
moving.
Yep.
Yes.
Because you said this week you've gone to get petrol, and that
Yes.
even getting the petrol gauge now is very heavy.
It's heavy. But I was going to ask somebody to do it, and then I thought, well, I'll give it a go. And I've given it a go, and I did it. So, because once I stop doing it, once somebody does it for once, I'll want them to do it all the time. So I've got to keep doing what I can do.
So there's an inner strength there. So where does that come from?
I don't know.
But if I needed inner strength, or somebody else that's listening to this that needs inner strength,
I don't know where they get it from. It's something that's in you, isn't it? Some people who sit down, quite young, 65, and they'll think, oh, you know, my days of rushing around now are over. And once you start thinking that way, in my opinion, then you do slow down.
So you're saying it's routine?
Yes. Discipline.
Discipline
mostly, because believe me when I tell you that I've had so much pain, I've had to force myself literally to do things, but by doing that I have managed to improve things. You know, so,
and like you say, sometimes
it's discipline. It is discipline.
And obviously when you lost Grandad and he was the love of your life, was that discipline that got you through that?
I don't know what got me through that. I really, Daphne, my daughter, got me through. Without her, I would never have got through, because we were with each other 27/11. 27. Cut that out.
Can't cut it out. We're rolling.
No, but we were together all the time. We're in business.
You and Grandad were together all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And when he went, just all the colour went out of my life. I didn't want to carry on then, and my discipline had gone because I just did not want to carry on. But you do, you know, it happens to everybody. We all die. We all lose a partner. It happens to everybody. And so sometimes you just have to.
So when you haven't got discipline, then it's...
I think it's a weakness then, you see. I think, because if once you lose your discipline, you stop doing things. And you just can't stop doing
But sometimes when life's really tricky, then sometimes we do need to rely on other people, and that's when Mum came into her strength and helped you.
Oh yes.
So it's okay to sometimes not be able to.
And now, of course, sometimes I'm in so much pain now, as all I want to do is talk about it. Because that, believe it or not, if you moan about it, and I think a lot of people will agree with this, if they can moan about their complaint and get it out of the system, they can get back on track again. But if they can't talk about it, they have to pretend, I think it's harder then. So I try not to pretend. If I'm in pain, I just say, yes, I'm in pain. And
it's a bad day or a bad hour.
Right. It's much better to do that than to hide it. Because I think when you're in a lot of pain, you want sympathy. Everybody wants sympathy at some time, you know. And because you're in pain, people get angry because they don't like to see you in pain. Not that they're angry with you, they're angry with themselves because they don't like to see you in pain. I know my daughter Daphne doesn't like to see me in pain at all, and I know it affects her. So you know, so between the devil and the deep blue sea whether you let them know or not. But there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not ill. I'm just old. Past my sell-by date.
Not quite yet. I think, what's the oldest person in the world? 116? You've still got a long way to go. A lot of things to do in your life. So number 6 is I am a good person and I live a good life.
Well, I live a good life. And I try to be a good person.
So when you say you live a good life, does that mean that you enjoy your life or you live a good life in another way?
Both
Okay.
Really, because I try to be good, as in religion and thinking of other people and that. And also I live a good life because I enjoy where I live. I've got this little flat and it's lovely in the village. And I can go out and just say hello to anybody. You know, there's no fear. So it's good all around.
So there's no fear?
No.
So a lot of people do live with fear. So you at 93, you're saying you have no fear?
No. I have no fear. I have no fear of dying, or I have no fear of anything really. I just really now want my family, all of my family, to get into the right position before I go. I know that sounds crazy, but they're all almost all there, so it's wonderful. But as being good, you don't know whether you're good or not, do you? Nobody knows that. I can be crabby.
Can you?
Yeah.
I don't believe that, Nana. I don't believe that.
I can be crabby. I can complain with the best of them, you know. It just every day is different, isn't it?
Yeah. But you strive to live.
Yes. I don't. My life is good. I'm good for my age. I'm not really ill. Pain is something we all have to go through, young or old. And I've had wonderful years. My past years have been so good that I just thank the lucky stars I had it.
So memories are important. So what would you say to somebody that doesn't take chances when they're younger and maybe isn't as free as you have been?
I wouldn't say this to these people because I feel it's very, very sad that some people don't make decisions that they maybe could or should, because everybody's different. I mean, we have the entrepreneurs that make loads and loads of money, and we have the poor people who, imagine living in a house with 4 or 5 children, no garden, money coming in one day and none the next day. So life is so unfair in every way, so I would never sort of tell anybody that they should have done this or they should have done that.
Okay.
Because life is not like that.
Yeah.
You take the opportunity if you can, and if you can't, you know.
You make the best of it.
And the thing is that these people, sometimes the people who have not made it so high up are the happiest people. Lots of children around them and going to school and doing.
So you're saying money isn't always important?
No. It's important. You can't live without it, unfortunately. But you know, if a lot of people are quite happy to pay their way while they get old and have no money left, they're not happy with it, but they're happy. Some people are happier than the entrepreneurs, you know. The entrepreneurs are not all that happy with their big yachts and everything. They've got problems. So, no, life's a mixed
ups and downs
for everybody.
And question number 7 is, I am optimistic about my future.
Oh, Oh, well, yes. My future, what could that be now? I don't know. My future is just making sure that I have the paper to read of a day, some nice food to eat, go out and walk. When the winter comes, turn the central heating full up and then can't pay the bills. All the usual things, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Are you hoping to get back to social activities like dancing?
no, not really. I would like to go and visit the dancing, but not on a regular basis, just occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've had my good share, and now I can dance at home, put the music on, and do a little bit of dancing at home. But you know.
So you're not. If we were going to score that, how would you score that? I am optimistic about my future. Because I'm not hearing that you're not optimistic, but
There's not much I can do at my age now to be optimistic about, is there?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't go. I could go skydiving and all that rest, but I'm not interested in anything like that.
You don't want to.
No, I don't want to. I just want to.
But if you wanted to, you could and you would.
Oh yes. I mean, there are people doing it.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that I have to do that. For me, it's not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the most important thing in life is being able to do things for yourself, to make sure you can do all the little bits that you want to do. Go to the toilet, go to the bedroom, have a shower, make a cup of tea. All the ordinary things that people get fed up of doing, I want to do till I die.
Okay. And question number 8. People respect me.
Well, yes, I would think so. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, respect is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose somebody's respect, you're on the downhill. No.
So what is respect? What does respect mean to you?
Respect means something like I can't put it into words because it's you say sometimes, oh, I've lost respect for that person, and it means that you change your attitude to them, and it's unkind in a way because what do you do to get respect? Just make sure you don't say anything to people that upsets them too much. Respect is something you earn. I think you can't. I can't score that. Respect is something you get from other people, and
there's not something that you can do to
make
other people respect you.
No, exactly. It's a one-sided thing. So
they either respect you or they don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, and I hope they respect me.
And do you respect yourself?
Oh yes.
And so what does that was the definite? What does respecting yourself?
Well, because I don't do anything that wouldn't. I just don't think that I could get in a situation where somebody doesn't have respect for me. I try not to do those things that would leave the people like that. You know, to lose respect is quite serious, really, because you can be in love with somebody and then you can lose respect for them and you've lost a marriage or something. So respect is very, very important.
And actually, when we look at psychology around respect, it really, really is important. But what is it that shows somebody that they respect themselves? Is it posture? Is it how they talk? Is it an inner glow?
It's a combination. It's a combination of everything, isn't it? I mean, the shyest person in the world can still be very highly thought of, and you respect them. And somebody who can be rude to you, you still respect them. It's something that it comes from. I don't think it should be on a scale of up or down. It's something that you either have or you haven't had.
And if you haven't had it, can you learn to?
Well, I don't really. I really. Respect is something that's out. It's not something that you can answer.
It's not tangible for you.
Not for me. No.
So this is Are You Flourishing scale. So at 93, nearly 94, would you say at this time of your life you are flourishing?
Oh yes, I'm lucky to be the way I am. So lucky. I can walk around. I can go to the village. I can drive my car. I could get up and dance if I want to. I can up and down the stairs.
Yeah.
I don't use the lift. Yeah, I'm flourishing.
Yeah.
I am really flourishing.
Thank you very much for your time today, Nana. I love you.